It is an absolute honor. Thank you so much, Margaret, Robin, and the chair of both the European head of UPF and United Kingdom to have me here. You know, sometimes life is like a big checkerboard, and we just get moved into the places that we're supposed to be. And I have just been moved into this great checkerboard, and it has taken me here. And I am so thrilled because I was not supposed to have met Margaret, was I? No, I was coming to London for another occasion, and Margaret had a speaker, just like now, that did not show up. And I just so happened to have been coming earlier than I should have been. And I just so happened to get the call in time. And I so happened to speak at the House of Lords for you, didn't I, Margaret? And that was where the connection happened straight away. Yes? And it is so important that we always have that human connection. And when I was thinking about, when Margaret asked me to speak today, I thought, what should I speak about? And I remembered this book that I did in high school, To Kill a Mockingbird. Yes? Atticus Finch, when he said, in order to understand someone, you've got to be able to see his point of view. And they asked, what do you mean, Atticus? He said, how about just getting into their skin and walking around in it? Let's think about that. Because I put it to you that that is what is fundamentally wrong with what is going on now in the world. We are not taking the time to understand other people's points of view. Walking around in their skin. Yes? So I want to tell you a little bit about the 3 P's. Position, purpose, and power. Yes? Because we are positioned for purpose. I have been positioned, I've gotten this great position, first black female to be advisor to the Public Services Ombudsman for Wales. I advise the Welsh government all the time. I speak, it so happens that almost 20 years ago, I spoke at the United Nations, yes, about matters such as this. And my daughter was there, she was only 9 years old at the time, yes? And that was a position, yes? As a lawyer, when I came over to the United Kingdom, and you know, sometimes our positioning takes us down before it takes us up. Yes? Do not despise the times that your positioning is not where you'd like it to be, because it is in those times that you learn. It is in those times that you walk into somebody else's shoes. That's when you jump into somebody else's skin and have a little time in it so you can understand. Because I came from privilege, yes? So I didn't understand the homelessness and joblessness and all of that. But I faced it when I came to the United Kingdom because I was overqualified. So they said, yes? But because I did not despise my positioning, I launched a charity to help refugees and asylum seekers. And that is how I stood at the United Nations, fully paid for by the Bradford Council. Yes? So when you get your positions, 2 things you need to recall and remember. This too will pass. Yes? So when you're flying high, remember the little man, because you might meet them on the way down. And when you are down, ask yourself, what do I need to learn? Because it is actually preparing me for going up. So what's your purpose? What is your purpose? You have not been placed in positions of elevation simply to pat each other on the back and form some mutual admiration society. This is not the time to be lost in echo chambers where everybody thinks, feels, and understands the way we do. This is not the time for us to forget about allyship and what it really means, because people who are influencers have to become allies. And we have got to stop the narratives which make people like Boo Radley into Kill a Mockingbird, the enemy. Now, unlike Boo Radley, who had a moment when he was vindicated, a lot of the people that are in his position, locked away in a dark house with no light, and the whole world passing them by, casting judgment, and no one taking the time to find out who is really that man, that woman, that group of people. We're talking about religious freedom. And so I would just, use a couple analogies from the Bible. Esther, Queen Esther, she came to a position for the time to help the Jewish people from being annihilated. Joseph came to power. In a day, he came to power so he could save Egypt and his own family. What do you have to do? What do I have to do? Whose purpose should we align ourselves to? I think this is a great purpose to align ourselves to. Yes? So, I would like today, because I do not have a lot of time, and I think I need to make best of the time, because there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood lead on to fortune. On such a full sea, we are now afloat, and we must take the current where it serves or lose our ventures. That was Brutus in Julius Caesar. No one would say that his venture was not so noble, the assassination of Julius Caesar. But the point is, we need to understand the times. Tempus rerum imperator. Time is the commander of all things. What time is it? Now is the time to find your own wave. Now is the time to ride that course. Now is the time to align yourself with movements that matter. Now is the time to climb into their skins and walk a little bit in it. Thank you.
Wow.